Good morning, brothers, sisters, and kin, and thank you for coming. I'm Matt Loeb, the International President of the IATSE, and I want to welcome everyone to Local 80 for the Adam Schiff for Senate campaign kickoff event. I would like to acknowledge my colleagues in attendance who helped make this event possible, the IATSE International Vice President and Motion Picture and Television Department Director, Mike Miller, International Vice President and President of the California IATSE Consul, Tom Davis, and IATSE District 2 Secretary, Anthony Pollock, as well as the business manager here at Local 80, Dijon Ellis, and the leadership for hosting us. Thank you very much. Also, Jillian Arnold and Scott Bernard from Local 695 and the Local 600 photographers who are taking care of us today, thank you. And I would like to also welcome all of the elected officials, organizers, and activists who turned out today to support Adam Schiff. On Thursday, the California IATSE Consul of 18 local unions representing over 54,000 members who work in film, television, stage, and live events throughout the state of California voted to endorse Adam Schiff for senator. And we are the first labor organization to endorse Adam Schiff, and I'm extremely proud of that. The Consul said in their statement that we make this early commitment because our decades of working with Congressman Schiff have given us direct evidence of his deep and abiding commitment to and willingness to take on the issues that directly impact our members and their families. And I am pleased to recognize the California IATSE Consul's endorsement to be the next United States Senator for the state of California. Now, Adam has been a true friend and champion for the IATSE workers from the moment he announced his campaign for the California State Senate at IATSE Local 80 in 1996. And he has been a voice for more than 10,000 members that he represents in the California's 30th Congressional District. So he knows us, he knows our business, he knows our industry, and he knows what workers need. And when the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the entire entertainment industry, Adam was the first to stand with us. He wrote a letter to the congressional leadership demanding that immediate economic relief be provided to entertainment workers who are out of work for no fault of their own. And thanks to his leadership, our members were made eligible for federal unemployment compensation that helped pay the bills and put food on the table until a safe return to work was possible. And thank you for that. We owe you a debt of gratitude. When 60,000 IATSE motion picture and television workers were fighting for a fair contract, Adam Schiff led the charge once again, and he, along with Senator Alex Padilla, authored a congressional letter to the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, urging them to get back to the table and negotiate a fair deal with us to deal with the issues of worker dignity and the basic human necessities that we put on the table, and in fact, they came back to the table. And thank you for that. The California IATSE Consul is now standing with Adam Schiff as he seeks this new office. In their words, there could be no stronger or truer voice for the working people of California than Congressman Adam Schiff. He is a man of conscience, conviction, and strength, and he is steadfast in the face of adversity. He understands that doing the right thing for working people is key to ensuring America remains the land of opportunity. He's a champion for justice, he's a champion for democracy, he's a champion for workers, and he's a champion for the IATSE. And we will always lock arms and support those who fight for us and the challenges we face ahead. Adam, we are proud to stand with you, and the way you have always stood with the working people of California, we're proud, and we're going to get you over the finish line. You will be the next senator of the great state of California. Thank you very much, folks. Let's get it done. Thank you.
Next on the stage is LA City Attorney Heidi Feldstein-Soto.
Next time I'll move a little faster. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Heidi Feldstein-Soto, and I am not only the Los Angeles City Attorney, I am a proud Democrat and have been one my whole life, and I am honored and proud to support our next U.S. Senator, Adam Schiff. I'm going to do this so I don't have to stand on my tiptoes, okay? Thank you. Adam is the most qualified person that I can think of to represent our state and be our next senator. Adam is the best advocate for our communities and for our state. He is one of the most honorable and brave people I know. He has been a warrior, not only for working families, but for all of us in every community, every marginalized community, and every mainstream community. Adam has been a fighter for truth, a guardian of democracy. Adam is someone who not only understands what it takes to be a leader, but he lives that leadership every day, every single day. Adam has shown us that he knows what it takes to build a state and a country that works for everyone, not just the rich and powerful, but all of us. And that while he could cross-examine and bring down bad guys with the best of them, he also has the policy chops, the ability to collaborate, and the focus on finding solutions to our most intractable problems. I, along with the rest of the country, watched Adam as a congressman and a former chair of the House Intelligence Committee, under the bright lights of that national stage, engage in battle after battle after battle with the most powerful people in our country. We saw him stand toe to toe and lead the impeachment trial of the former guy, okay? He did that without rancor. He did that without rancor, and while inspiring all of us, sorry about that, while inspiring all of us to be our best selves, calling upon the better angels of our nature in defending our democracy against the biggest threat we have faced, maybe since Benedict Arnold. And make no mistake about it, what Adam did and what he continues to do is stressful and it is difficult for him and for his family. But he continues to lead us for our families, for our children, for our grandchildren, and for the sake of our country. Adam Schiff puts himself on the line every day. He has an unbelievably impressive record of success, even in Congress, where people say that nothing gets done and good ideas go to die. And yet Adam has proven them wrong time after time. He is the author of the constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. He has pushed for universal health care. And he has pushed for health equity, especially for LGBTQ plus communities. He's been a leader in our conservation and our environmental efforts, and he has protected our climate. As a state senator, Adam was focused on our families and on his constituents, passing a Patients' Bill of Rights, updating textbooks for all of our students, and assisting in a massive expansion of light rail right here in Los Angeles. So, what do we think we can expect from Adam Schiff as our next senator? I believe his best is yet to come. I know that Adam will rise to the occasion and take our state and our country where we need to go. I know he will fight for progressive change. I know he will work to make the economy work for everyone, to finally implement universal health care, and to tackle climate change. He is committed to gun safety and to reducing the influence of the NRA in our politics. Adam Schiff will go to the mat to protect the voting rights for all Americans and protect the right to vote in every corner of our country. And perhaps most importantly and personal to me, Adam Schiff is unequivocally committed to reproductive freedoms that are our fundamental rights. He will work to protect and to restore access to abortion and to keep every woman safe as she exercises her right to choose. Our democracy, as strong as it may seem, is especially vulnerable. And the next few years will be nothing less than critical to protecting our rights, our values, and our future. And so I am here to say that there is no one I would rather have as my next senator than Senator Adam Schiff. I am incredibly proud to endorse Congressman Adam Schiff for Senator of this great state of California. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Assembly Member Tina McKinner.
Good morning, Los Angeles. Good morning, California. And good morning to California's next U.S. Senator, Adam Schiff. My name is Assemblymember Tina McKinner, and I'm proud to represent the West Side and South Bay cities and communities of Los Angeles County in the California State Assembly. And I am equally proud to extend my enthusiastic endorsement of Congressman Adam Schiff for U.S. Senate. I want to start by thanking Senator Dianne Feinstein for her decades of service to California. From fighting to protect Americans from the devastation of gun violence to her wise, steady wisdom that has helped to expand health care, including access to abortion, to protecting and strengthening Medicare and Social Security. California would not be the global titan that it is today without Senator Feinstein, and I want to thank her for her service to our state and to our country. Now it is time for us to collectively look to the future, a future where women have a federal right to make their own health care decisions, a future where weapons of war are banned for civilian use in every community in our country, a future where every worker should be able to join a union, make a living wage, and be able to pay their bills and save for a rainy day with just one job. A future that leads with love, not division. I have been involved in democratic politics and community organizing and fighting for a progressive agenda my entire life. And I have seen time and time again that Adam Schiff has stood up for us when we needed him the most. He stood up for us, fighting to protect voting rights for Black, Latino, API, and Indigenous community. He stood up for us, exposing the threat of right-wing extremism and right-wing domestic terrorism. He stood up for us to make sure every American family has access to affordable and quality health care. And he stood up for us when he stood up to the former guy, Mr. Farmer. And now, I have seen a lot during my time in politics, but I have never seen the mastery that Adam Schiff and his colleagues showed our nation during the impeachment trials of the previous president. At a time when our democracy was at its most fragile, Adam Schiff stood up for fundamental values of our nation. He stood up for the fundamental values of our democracy. And I believe in my heart, that Adam Schiff is the right guy to represent California in the US Senate. So let's stand up, let's stand together, and let us build the next chapter of our state and our nation with the leadership of our next US Senator, my friend, Adam Schiff. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Adam's little brother, David, and David's mother, Angela.
Hi, my name is David McMillan, and I am Adam's little brother. Not quite so little anymore. Yes, and I know what you're thinking. The resemblance is uncanny. And this here is my amazing mom, Angela. Now, I realize that many of you know Adam as Congressman Schiff. Awesome congressman, brilliant orator, courageous defender of democracy, huge Big Lebowski fan, or pencil neck Schiff, depending on where you get your news. But allow me to tell you a little about the Adam that I know. Adam and I were paired together many years ago through the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Los Angeles program, back when I was 7 years old and Adam was a young lawyer working for the US Attorney's Office. My mother and I were living in Inglewood, California at the time. Yeah, go Inglewood. I'd been on the Big Brothers waiting list for over 2 years, and I couldn't wait to finally get a big brother. I remember our very first outing together. We went to Venice Beach, and I remember initially not wanting to get into the water. I was afraid. But Adam convinced me it'd be okay, assuring me he'd hold my hand the entire time. And so together we went in. He was right. It was okay. And after an afternoon battling the crashing waves and having a blast, we dubbed ourselves the Survivors. I can honestly say that day changed my life. Not having a close relationship with my own father, Adam was the big brother, mentor, and role model I needed during the most critical years of my life. He came to all of my plays and speech meets. We both loved movies, and we went to see them constantly. In fact, Adam has the distinction of taking me to the worst movie I've ever seen. It's a movie called Nightfall starring David Baxter Burney. If any of you worked on it, I apologize. He once took me to a taping of the Arsenio Hall show, which, believe me, back in the day, that was very, very cool. He introduced me to different types of music, like Billy Joel, who I thought totally sucked. Thankfully, much to Adam's relief, I've revised my opinion. Also, I remember going to his apartment once and noticing he had all these books written by this guy I'd never heard of named Winston Churchill. Wow, Adam, you must really like this Winston dude. It's a memory I thought about as Adam delivered his closing remarks in Trump's first impeachment trial, a speech that I think would have made Churchill proud. Over the years, Adam and I have been there for each other to celebrate the milestones of our lives. I was proud to be in his wedding when he married his amazing wife, Eve. And I was thrilled to see him in the stands when I graduated from Yale, and then 3 years later, when I graduated from USC Film School. He's been there for me through good times and bad, personal crises, times when I felt lost. At one point in my late 20s, he even told me not to go to law school, and instead to continue pursuing my dream to become a writer, because he believed in me, and I'm forever grateful he did. Yes, we're both a bit older now, but we're still the survivors, and my mother and I couldn't imagine not having him in our lives.
Hi, my name is Angela Sellers, David's mom. I just want to say a few words. When I first contacted Big Brothers Big Sisters back when David was 5 years old, seeking a father figure for him, my hope was to find someone kind who was willing to consistently commit his time to a talkative, inquisitive, growing young boy. It took over 2 years, but what we got was so much more than a big brother. We got Adam. Adam became a part of our family, and we became a part of his. Adam gave his time, he gave his energy, and he gave it with generosity, sincerity, and love. And he never made a promise he didn't keep to David. If he said he would be at one of David's speech meets, or one of his plays, or one of his games, he was there. Maybe sometimes he came a little late. Okay, he was often a little late. But he made it. Adam has made this life's journey so much better for my son, and I am so honored and grateful to stand here today with Adam and support him to be our next senator from California.
It's true, Adam did have a bit of a punctuality problem, but he's gotten a lot better. A little better. Adam taught me the opposite of what we call now toxic masculinity. He taught me that real strength isn't about being a bully. It's about being a defender, a protector. It's about doing the right thing because right matters. It's about standing up for your convictions, keeping your word, even if it means getting to that speech meet a few minutes late. Adam has already made this country proud for what he's done in the halls of Congress. But I was proud of him long before then. And I know in my heart that he's the absolute right person to represent California in the U.S. Senate because I believe in him. As we faced the crashing waves of Venice Beach all those years ago, Adam held my hand and said he wouldn't let go, that it would be okay. Today, this country and our state are facing a similar predicament. We're facing some pretty scary waters. We all feel it. And many of us are afraid. But if we send Adam to the Senate, I guarantee he's going to keep his word and hold our hand and not let go. He's going to fight for all of us, and it's going to be okay. No, it's going to be better than okay. So, that's a little bit about the Adam that I know, the Adam that we know, and the Adam that I hope you'll support to become the next great senator from California. Thank you very much.
Please welcome to the stage Eve Schiff.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eve, Adam's wife. Yes, we exist in real life. And I'm here to tell you the real scoop about Adam Schiff. You ready? But first, I want to introduce you to our daughter, Lexi, and her boyfriend of 8 years and going strong, Eric Hochberger. They flew across the country, both of them, so they could be here for Adam's kickoff event today. So Adam and I have been together since Adam was 29 years old. So I think I know him better and longer than anyone here, except for David and Angela. They went before me. They came first. So where did Adam and Eve meet? It wasn't the Garden of Eden, no. Adam and Eve met on a tennis court here in LA. You didn't know that, did you? It was a mixed doubles game set up by a mutual friend, and I whipped him. But you know, he didn't care. He called me at work next week and asked me out to dinner, and the rest is biblical history. Next week is our anniversary. 28 years we will have been married. 33 years in total I've been with this man. I have learned a thing or two about Adam Schiff in all those years. Number one, commitment. He is committed to our family and our 2 children, Lexi, age 24, and Eli, age 20, and he always has been. He's committed to his work, and he's committed to the people of California and making their lives better. Number 2, he is the real deal. He is the real deal. He is everything we want in our elected representative writing laws for this state. He is so bright, not only book smart, whip smart, with an encyclopedic knowledge of history, but this man can and did finish our basement by himself by watching and learning from YouTube videos on how to finish your basement. Not kidding. And the end result, you might ask, flawless. He's a man of many talents. And talk about time management. He did this while he was a US representative. Of course, it was a year or 2 before Trump, so he was a little less busy, but man of many talents. Number 3, he is a decent, moral person. What you see is what you get. He comes across that way when you see him on TV, and he's that way at home. He is scrupulously honest, maybe to a fault, I don't know, honest Abe, always doing the right thing, following the letter of the law, which is why it infuriates me and upsets me so much when I see him villainized by Donald Trump and by Fox News. Number 4, work ethic. He works harder than anyone I know for this country. He is up late, reading up on the issues, writing an op-ed, up early for appointments, meeting with constituents, traveling back and forth, East Coast, West Coast, and he will work harder for the state of California than any other candidate. You can bet on it. In fact, he works so hard that literally the other day, we were on different coasts, and I'm trying to get an update on how his day went. So we're texting, and he sends me a neat little paragraph about the dinner he just had at this nice little restaurant and how he met the chef. I thought, nice. A couple hours later, I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I see the exact same paragraph. It's his Instagram post. He copied and pasted from his Instagram post. Well, he got in trouble for that one. And now he knows to only send me original material. Anyway, he's a busy guy, I get it. People, take it from me, this man is great. And he's gonna make a great next senator from California. Now, you've got a year till the primary, March 2024, to go out and tell everyone you know that Adam Schiff is the best candidate for U.S. Senate. And his wife said so. Adam Schiff, everyone.
Please welcome to the stage Congressman Adam Schiff.
Oh my God, isn't she amazing? How are you today, Burbank? Hello, California. Are you ready to win this thing? Good morning, everyone. And I just want to start by thanking my amazing wife, Eve. We met, as she said, on a tennis court. She did kick my ass, that's very true. And I said, a woman with that good a double backhand, I just have to marry. And she has been with me through thick and thin. She has demonstrated the most incredible strength and courage through some of the most challenging times. I could not be more grateful or in love. And I want to thank you, Eve, for everything. I'm so glad that you got to meet my daughter, Lexi, my wonderful, beautiful, brilliant daughter, Lexi, and her boyfriend, Eric. They met when they were 15, and they're still together, and I couldn't be more thrilled. And I want to shout out to my son, Eli, who is a sophomore in college, and couldn't be with us here today, how much I love him, and how proud I am of both of my beautiful two children. To David and Angela, you are making me cry inside. I am so grateful that you came into my life. And became part of my family. And God, you're a brilliant writer, David. That was just beautiful. To Tina, I want to thank you for all of your progressive leadership on housing, for how you champion the education of all of our kids, for how you wake up every morning devoted to our common constituents in the state of California. I want to thank you for your friendship, your courage, and your support. And to Heidi, you are a magnificent new city attorney. You are out there every day fighting to reform the criminal justice system, fighting for consumers, fighting for all of us Angelenos, and we could not have a better city attorney. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your support. And to Matt Loeb and everyone here in IATSE, it is great to be in the House of Labor. Thank you for being our hosts. Matt, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for making it possible for so many hardworking people to enjoy the American dream. Thank you for being a champion of collective bargaining. Thank you for helping with all of your members to get us through that pandemic, to give us something to divert our attention from all the difficulties and the fears we experienced. Thank you to the men and women of IATSE and the beautiful, incredible, creative work you do every day. I am so proud to represent you, and I am so grateful for your endorsement. Thank you to the people of Burbank, which has been our home for over a quarter of a century. Beautiful downtown Burbank, as Johnny Carson used to say, and it's true. And thank you to everyone joining us from communities big and small throughout California on the live stream. When I first ran for Congress, it started right here, right at this very IATSE Local 80, Union Hall, right here in the city of Burbank. Thank you for giving me my start in federal office, and thank you for giving me my start in a long journey to the U.S. Senate. Thank you, Burbank. Thank you, IATSE Local 80. So it all began right here. Although I gotta say, it began right here with a lot fewer people than there are here today. A lot has changed since my first run for the U.S. Congress. I was a virtual unknown then, walking and knocking on doors to get the message out. Today, I'm stopped by strangers in the street, in airports, in restaurants, you name it. And the feedback is generally very good, very kind, and very supportive. Of course, I do get a little of the contrary view, the pencil necks and watermelon heads, and you know the rest. But there's something else I hear from people, and it is also heartbreaking. So often over the last several years, people will stop me with tears in their eyes and ask a different form of the same question. Are we going to be okay? Is our country going to be okay? Probably many of you have asked yourselves that very question. After seismic changes in our economy that have chipped away at our jobs and put unprecedented pressure on the middle class, after a financial crisis wiped out the savings of millions, after the terrible abuses of power by a twice impeached and disgraced former president, after a pandemic sent shockwaves through our economy, after an armed insurrection aimed at stopping the peaceful transfer of power, after all of that, after witnessing so much we never would have imagined taking place in this country, it has so many Americans asking, are we going to be okay? And today I am here to tell you that we will get through this, that we are a deeply resilient country with magnificent people in every state of the union, that we can rebuild our economy and our democracy, that we can save our planet, and that we are going to come out of this and come out strong. The future ahead of us will be bright if we are willing to fight for it, if we are willing to stand together and make it so. Only together, though, can we strengthen our economy and save our democracy. Only together can we fight for a just and fair society, one that our kids can be proud of. Only together can we protect our planet and create millions of green jobs. These are the fights that really matter for an economy that works for everyone, for a democracy we can pass on to our children, for a planet we can live in and on in peace. The economy, our democracy, and our planet. This is why I am running for the U.S. Senate. I was born in Boston, the son of a salesman. My father sold clothes. He was the proverbial traveling salesman in what he called the rag business, or the schmata business if you prefer the Yiddish. My parents bought our first home for $18,000 on a handshake, for about the same amount as my father's annual salary. Imagine that today, to buy a house for what you earned as a salesman in a single year. It's unthinkable. But that single salary was enough for us to live comfortably, for my brother and I to go to good public schools and to live in a safe neighborhood. We moved to the San Francisco Bay Area in 1971 when I was 11. Like so many families, we were drawn to the Golden State by the promise of an even better life. My folks rented a home and then bought a home, albeit for a bit more than $18,000. That was a time when millions of families were flocking to California to be part of something special. It was a time when Californians knew their lives would be better than their own. When people came here because they believed in the California dream. When they wanted to chase that dream for their kids. My parents weren't rich, but they worked hard. My father got out of the clothing business and bought a lumber yard. My mother began working outside the home. I worked too. I worked summers lugging around sacks of concrete, roofing materials, and sheets of plywood. Anyone here in the building and construction trades? Because damn, that's hard work. Thank you, sir. In between college and law school, I even took a turn as a seasonal forest firefighter, another profession I came to have an enormous respect for. Thank you, firefighters. Settling in Los Angeles, in Venice, after law school, I took on a job as an assistant United States attorney. I took down a corrupt FBI agent turned spy for Russia during the Cold War, the first FBI agent ever convicted of espionage. He evidently had more confidence in the Kremlin than our own intelligence agencies. Damn, that sounds familiar. I took on big oil and polluters, starting the first federal environmental crimes unit in Los Angeles. Prosecuted an oil company for illegally dumping oil into the ocean and other polluters for smuggling hazardous waste across the border. I took on drug lords and drug smugglers. I never lost a case. As a prosecutor, I fought for justice, for fairness, and for the rule of law, and that is still my fight today. But I also realized that if I wanted to address some of the root causes of crime, that I needed to get involved in politics. So I ran for the state Senate, taking on a powerful Republican incumbent and flipping a red seat blue. As my good friend, retired Senator Jack Scott, who is here today, liked to say when the Pasadena Star-News ran a headline about our election the next day, there's a new party in town. As a state senator, I wrote one of the first laws in the nation guaranteeing a patient's Bill of Rights, laws to guarantee up-to-date textbooks in schools, and created a massive new program to keep kids in school and out of jail. And I wrote the law resulting in a huge expansion of mass transit here in Los Angeles and light rail across Southern California. I took on big corporations and powerful special interests and the toxic right-wing media to get it done because these were fights that really mattered. Then I ran for Congress, took on another powerful Republican incumbent, flipped another red seat blue, this time forever. In Congress, I fought against climate change and to invest in new green technology and jobs, and we made the most massive investment in attacking climate change in our history. I fought for universal health care, and we got the biggest expansion in health care access in generations and over ferocious GOP opposition. I fought against tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. I fought for good-paying jobs, union jobs, and investments in our future. I fought to fix a broken immigration system that has shattered the lives and broken the hearts of too many people who have come to this country and enriched it beyond measure by their presence. I fought to get corporate money and dark money out of politics and to overturn Citizens United. And I became an expert on national security and intelligence, exposing torture and working to reform our nation's surveillance. I took on these fights because they mattered, because they made Americans' lives better, our system more just, our kids' future more secure. And then I took on the biggest fight of my life against Donald J. Trump. A demagogue bent on destroying our democracy and upending all the progress we had made. I took on him, his extreme MAGA supporters, and the entire Fox misinformation machine. Well, I made some pretty powerful enemies. But as Franklin Roosevelt once observed, sometimes you can judge a person by the enemies they make. By that standard, I'm doing pretty damn well. But I prefer to be known by the friends I keep, and I'm so grateful for all of you. We investigated Trump, we impeached him, we held him accountable, and then we defeated him at the ballot box. And we will defeat him again if the GOP is foolish enough to nominate him. He will never see the inside of the Oval Office, never again. Not if I have anything to do with it, not if you have anything to do with it, not if we are going to save our country. Donald Trump came to power like other would-be autocrats around the world at a time of enormous economic disruption. Globalization and automation are changing and reshaping the workplace like nothing the world has seen since the Industrial Revolution. Suddenly, millions of middle-class families were falling through the cracks. Working-class families, only a healthcare crisis or car problem away from catastrophe. Parents taking on multiple jobs and still barely able to keep a roof over their heads, sometimes even unable to do that. Fertile soil for anyone who came along and promised that they alone could fix it. Notwithstanding the great progress that we have made under President Biden, and we have made great progress over the last 2 years, the reality is that in many parts of our state and country, the economy is simply not working for millions of working people. Too many people are working multiple jobs but cannot pay the rent, afford groceries, or pay for life-saving medication. Too many others are spending hours commuting to work because they cannot afford to live close to their jobs. Too many parents are unable to afford childcare. Too many children are growing up in poverty and hungry. Too many, far too many. During the pandemic, we more than doubled the child tax credit, lifting millions of kids out of poverty. But when Republicans refused to extend that tax credit, millions of kids and their families fell back into poverty. This should tell us two things. First, this isn't rocket science. We don't need to wait for some bolt of inspiration out of the blue. And second, the amount of poverty we are willing to accept is a policy choice we are making, and it is a terrible choice. We need to build an economy that works for everyone, not just for corporations or billionaires, so that even a clothing salesman can provide for their family and enjoy the American dream, the California dream. Because everyone deserves access to quality care. Everyone deserves a good paying job. Everyone deserves a roof over their head. This is why I am running for the U.S. Senate. To build an economy that works for everyone, a democracy that will last for all time, and a planet that doesn't melt beneath our feet. It starts with universal health care, with Medicare for all, for whoever wants it, because it is a moral stain on our country that our access to life-saving health care depends on whether we can afford it. It starts with universal pre-K and universal child care for working families, so parents can afford to go to work and our children can get a jump start on learning. And permanently extending the child tax credit. It starts with paying teachers what they're worth. Making college affordable. Providing free community college, not just K through 12. And helping workers free themselves from as much student debt as possible while driving down the cost of education. It starts with making it easier to unionize, to invest in workers, and bring jobs back from overseas. It starts with building housing that is affordable, housing that families, our children, our parents can afford, with good mass transit and jobs nearby. It starts with an Apollo project-level investment to fight climate change and create millions of new green jobs, a Green New Deal. It starts with fixing our immigration system so that it is consistent with our values, treats immigrants with dignity, and keeps families together. It starts with protecting our rights, from LGBTQ rights to abortion, against extremists determined to take our rights and freedoms away. It starts with getting money out of politics so politicians are accountable to the people. But more than anything else, it starts with all of us. As Indigenous peoples taught us, as President Obama reminded us, we are the ones we have been waiting for. It is up to us, all of us, our economy, our democracy, our planet. This is why we fight. This is why we will win. This is the fight of our lives. This is the fight for our future. This is the fight for our country. And the Golden State will lead the way, a state made golden not by the riches of its soil, but by the beauty of its people. We will carry that torch. We will lead the country forward to a bright and beautiful future. We will do that. I'm Adam Schiff, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Then let's go win this thing. Go to adamschiff.com and volunteer. Sign up and volunteer. We need every one of you on this team. Let's go win this thing. I'm Adam Schiff, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I'm going to be running with you every step of the way up and down this beautiful big state. Let's go win this thing. Thank you, Burbank. Thank you, IATSE. Thank you, California. God bless. Let's win this thing. Thank you. Thank you, California.